Good morning, everyone. How are you all? Hope so that you all are fine at your house. So, today we are going to start our chapter number 7, How Plants Survive. We have already completed our chapter number 6 in your revision worksheet as well as in your textbook. Now, we are going to start our chapter number 7. In this, we are going to study mostly about the plants. So let us have a look over it, the types of the plants. There are majorly terrestrial, different types of the plants, which are terrestrial plants, aquatic plants, insectivorous plants, and non-green plants. Now, when we talk about the terrestrial plants, means the plants that grows on the land and are known as the terrestrial plants. Actually, land have having a different features like plains, mountains, and deserts. Some of the land receives the heavy rainfall, which are known as, or some are having and some moderate rainfall, some are having very little rainfall. Now, when we talk about the large flat areas of the land, which are known as the plains. Now, lands are having a very higher than plains are known as the mountains, and mountains are generally colder than the plains. Now, when we talk about the places where there is a very little rainfall, then we can just identify them as in deserts. Now, the different types of the plants in the different areas, they just plants need to adapt to the natural conditions of that area to survive. If I give you an example, then the coconut tree cannot be planted over the desert because it needs the more rainfall. That is why it is located near the seashore. Now, when we talk about the plants in the plains, now plants growing in the plains can be grouped into the two categories, which are the less rainfall and heavy rainfall. Now, when we talk about the less rainfall, means if there is a less rainfall, then there will be a hot climate also, and they mostly shed their leaves in the autumn season. The examples given to us are neem, peepal, gulmohar, ashok, sesam, and sal. Now, when we talk about the plants in the heavy rainfall area, then these plants have the leaves that remains green almost throughout the year. So we can say that they are an evergreen plants. The examples of them are rubber tree and teak tree. अब जब हम बात कर रहे हैं कि प्लेन्स प्लांट्स और माउंटेन्स में है या हिली एरियाज़ में है, तो ऑब्वियस है कि वो स्ट्रेट होंगे, टॉल होंगे और उनका कॉन शेप्ड होगा ताकि उनके ऊपर जो भी बर्फ़ गिर रही है वो इजीली स्लाइड डाउन हो जाए. एंड देयर एग्जांपल्स आर पाइन एंड फर. All right, they are having a needle-like shape, and they are having a waxy coating which can be preventing them from the falling of the snow. Now, when we talk about the plants in the deserts, means the plants grows where there is a very little rainfall, कि वहाँ पर बहुत ही कम बारिश हो रही है. So cactus, bubble and date plants are all commonly grown over here. These plants have certain features which helps them to stay in the desert. Like they don't have leaves, they actually the photosynthesis process has been carried out by the green stems. They store the water into the stems which becomes fleshy, and they most of the plants have spines, or you can call them as thorns, so which helps them to reduce the loss of the water. If they have leaves, then they will lose a lot of water. So for not losing a lot of water, they are having a spines or thorns. Then comes the plants in the swampy areas. Swampy areas means the area where there is a very sticky soil, or you can say that there is a lot of water in it. So it becomes very difficult for plants to grow over there because their roots cannot breathe. And for breathing of the roots, what they have to do, they have to get out of the soil. So many of the roots get out of their soil, and that roots are be known as the breathing roots. All right. Actually, they take in air and help the plants to breathe. They also absorb the water and minerals required for the photosynthesis process. So these are the swamps, and if I give you the better examples of the plants in the swamps, then that is the mangrove plant. Okay, mangrove plant is with the breathing roots. Then comes the plants on the sea coast, means near the sea coast or seashore, you can say, coastal areas. Actually, coconut tree grows on the coastal areas because they can survive in the salty water, and the preferred area is like an heavy rainfall. The seeds of these plants are doesn't need any birds or wind to carry their seeds to any other places, but it can be carried out to really very far with the help of the water. So they don't have for the transporting the seeds or for any other thing. Now comes the aquatic plants. Now, when we heard something about the aquatic plants, we just get into and mind about the aquatic animals. Means the animals which lives in the water. So obviously we can say that it is also similar ways related to it, that the plants that grow into the water are known as an aquatic plants. There are three types of the aquatic plants: floating, fixed, and underwater. Now, when we talk about the floating plants, these are the stems of the floating plants are really very light and spongy. That is the reason that they are being able to float onto the water. The example of it is a duckweed plant, or you can say that the water hyacinth. These are the examples of the floating plants. Now, when we talked about the fixed plants, means the plants that are having their roots fixed to the bottom of the or end. So they have the thin, long, and the hollow stems, and the surface is means their hollow stem is being onto the surface of the water. The leaves of these plants are really very broad and have a flat waxy coating on the surface to prevent them from the rotting ones. Actually, if I give you the example of them, then the examples are water lily and lotus. These are the examples of the fixed plants. Now, which we are going to study is underwater plants. Now, what do you mean by underwater plants? Means the plants that grows under the water surface, मतलब पानी की surface के अंदर पूरे का पूरा plant होता है. They are having a thin and narrow leaves without any stomata. These leaves absorb gas dissolved into the water directly through the surface of the water. And if I give you the examples, then the tape grass and pondweed are the examples of the underwater plants. Okay. Then comes the insectivorous plants, means the plants which are carnivorous in nature. Actually, we have heard carnivorous in animals because the animals which eat the flesh of the other animals are known as an carnivorous animals. So some plants are also like an carnivorous. The examples of this are Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Now, when we talk about the Venus flytrap plant, then it is like a box-like structure, and when any insect sits on it, then what happens that it will suddenly close down so that they will eat out the insects or the creature which has been trapped inside. And when we talk about the pitcher plant, it is of the shape of any container or the pitcher with the lid on their mouth. So when any insect lands on the edge of the pitcher plant, it slips and falls into it, and the lid closes, trapping the insects inside. The secretion from the pitcher help to digest the trapped insects. वो insect को ही पूरा digest कर लेते हैं. Alright, so these are the insectivorous plants, or you can say the carnivorous plants. Now, when we talk about the non-green plants, yeah, by the name itself, we can understand that they are not in green in color. So, there are many kinds of non-green plants. Actually, the Indian pipe and the coral root are the examples of the non-green plants. Actually, they don't have chlorophyll. That is the reason that they are not green in color. We have already studied in our chapter number 6 that the plants get it green color with the substance named chlorophyll. So if there is an absence of chlorophyll, it's obvious that it won't be of green color. Actually, these plants cannot make the food of their own, and they get nutrients from the dead plants and animals. Such plants are being known as an saprophytic plants. ऐसे plants को क्या कहते हैं हम लोग? We call such plants as an saprophytic plants. Now comes the uses of the plants. Plants are really very useful to us in our everyday life. If we see, then first of all, that we depends on the plants for our food. If it's fruits, vegetables, oil, sugar, cereals, pulses, nuts, spices, and many more products of the plants. Actually, the beverages are also been we are getting from the plants like tea, coffee, or cocoa beans. Then comes the soap and the shampoos, which are being made from the vegetable oils. Actually, this vegetable oil is also being obtained from the plants. Then the paint is also contains the substance obtained from the plants. Now, when we talk about the plant fibers such as jute or the cotton, are used to make clothes, carpets, sacks, and ropes. Flax is also a type of the fiber which we get from the plant. Coconut tree is like a coconut gives us coconut oil, coconut water, coir for making ropes, as well as it is an edible fruit. We can also eat the coconut. Now, when we talk about the trees which are used for making, actually, trees are also used for making paper and furniture. The hollow stem or the can of the bamboo plant is used for making baskets, huts, mats, and also walking sticks. Now, when we talked about the rubber trees juice, it is used for making the rubber for the tires and pipes. The juice of an acacia tree, or you can call the kika tree, is used for making the gum. The gum that we use is been made from the juice of a plant. The trunk of the trees, such as an sesame, teak, sal, that gives us the wood for making the furniture. If we talked about the door, windows, then the furniture or the frame of it is being made of the wood. So that wood we get from the sesame, teak, and sal. Actually, many of the trees, such as an eucalyptus, tulsi, kikona, and the neem, are also very important for making the medicines for the various types of the diseases. Actually, tulsi and neem are some of the diseases which we know, some of the plants which are used, and these are also very good for our health also. So these are the plants which we know commonly. And the last point, which is dyes from the plants, are extremely popular, like an henna, or you can call the mehndi leaves, which are used for decorating hands in marriages or any functions. Actually, plants are having many more advantages, such like they give out the oxygen, they help for preventing from the soil erosion, and many more of them. But here are the many other things which are we are using in our day-to-day life. So as we all know that the trees are really very important and giving us a lot many advantages, so we should not cut down trees and we should try to plant more and more trees. So this is all about the chapter number 7, how plants survive. Now tomorrow we are going to start with our worksheet. That's all for today. If you have any doubt, make yourself free to ask. Thank you and have a nice day.